Hello everyone, and welcome to my UK Royal Family News channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Days of Our Lives spoilers and updates bother that Rex Brady will have a proposition to make to Sarah Horton. Might it be an engagement proposition, and will she express yes to shield her child from Xander Cook? Sarah's skeleton in the closet is one that such a large number of individuals know as of now. Both Maggie Kyriakis and Bonnie Kyriakis realize she's conveying Xander's child. Justin Kyriakis knows the mystery as well, in spite of the fact that Sarah has no clue Bonnie told him, and neither does Maggie. Be that as it may, taking everything into account, Bonnie and Maggie are sufficient to be aware, and she has zero faith in her mom not to tell Xander, and she and Rex talk it over. Rex and Sarah had gotten hitched yet got separated when she went behind his back with Eric Brady, preceding that Rex went behind Sarah's back with her sister. However, they moved past that and excused one another. Perhaps they ought to wed once more. Rex Brady and Sarah Horton could wed to safeguard the child. Despite the fact that it's past time to attempt to misrepresent a paternity test to show Rex as the child's dad rather than Xander, Rex recommends one thing they could do. Assuming that they wed, they can give the child Rex's name rather than Xander's, and he could be the legitimate dad of record. They have no DNA evidence to show who the dad is and just the time period of the pregnancy, despite the fact that it very well may be contended it's actual close. Rex came to Salem and invested energy with Sarah prior to taking her back to Chicago exceptionally near the very time that she'd said a final farewell to Xander. Xander hesitantly consented to the separation from Sarah and marked the papers so she's free as a bird. Father of record trumps sperm contributor, taking everything into account. Xander is just a sperm giver. She doesn't believe he should have any piece of her child's life. Rex would have all parental privileges, assuming he's the dad on the birth testament. Nobody must be the smarter, including Maggie. He imagines that is the most effective way to safeguard the child, and there are valid justifications for Sarah to not need him remotely close to the child. Days of Our Lives spoilers Xander demonstrated that he is as yet perilous by working for Ava Vitali and adding to the demise of Susan Banks. In the event that he hadn't captured her and Bonnie hadn't been in an unlucky spot, Bonnie wouldn't have PTSD and bad dreams about comedians, and Susan would be alive. After Stephanie tosses wine in front of Chad, she proclaims she realizes he cautioned Alex away from her. Chad detonates, accepting Alex couldn't hold on to break their man of his words arrangement. Stephanie explains that she needed to drag it out of Alex, who nearly blew an agreement attempting to keep it from her. Chad apologizes. He realizes he was being a possessive jerk, and that she said a final farewell to Alex for precisely the same explanation. Might you at any point excuse me? He inquires. Or then again would we say we are done as well? Justin tracks down Alex in Little Bar to welcome him to Victor's invite home party. Alex doesn't know he'd be gladly received. Yet Justin demands Maggie welcomed him. Concerning Victor, he's staining over Beau. Thus, this is about family. At the point when Alex actually wavers, Justin urges his child to do it for him. Alex concurs. Essentially, he will not have any disagreements with Chad. At the point when Justin asks, Alex concedes he might have accidentally destroyed his relationship with Stephanie. At the Kyriakis house, a glitz rock-looking Bonnie paints her toenails. Maggie gets back from Chicago and tells her she realizes Sarah's having Xander's child. Subsequent to minding the kitchen for Victor's party, Bonnie notes Maggie doesn't appear to be in a party temperament. Maggie's simply tossed by Sarah, keeping reality from Xander. No good thing comes from these sorts of untruths. In Chicago, Sarah lets Rex know that Maggie knows she's pregnant with Xander's child. She stresses that such a large number of individuals know, and that somebody will babble to Xander. There's no way to prevent him from being a piece of her youngster's life. Rex counters that she could wed him, besides the fact that it help and could a potential guardianship fight. However, assuming that everybody believes he's the dad, she can securely get back to Salem. Sarah's simply not certain that is the response. Rex is certain enough for the two of them. He would truly love the idea of being hitched to her. He's loved constantly her, and he won't ever will. Outside the bar, Beauty tells Chloe that Brady had to give Rachel to Kristen. She trusts Brady can rely on Chloe's help. Chloe reminds her they aren't together. Besides, Brady isn't precisely strong of her relationship with Xander. At the point when Beauty castigates Xander, Chloe eliminates her he proposed. Beauty is startled to learn Chloe didn't turn him down level. Xander tracks down a melancholy Brady in the square. He accepts his gloomy state of mind is because of him and Chloe getting hitched. Brady necessitates to hear that Xander is kidding. Xander concedes Chloe's considering his proposition. However, he completely expects to make Chloe cook. Calling him whimsical, Brady expects he simply proposed to Chloe to take advantage of his exes. Xander calls his affirmation acrid grapes, gets in his own digs, then, at that point, takes off for Victor's party. In their loft, Stephanie tells Chad she's not saying a final farewell to him. However, there's a cutoff to what she'll tolerate. He really wants to converse with her as opposed to going despite her good faith. Chad promises at no point ever to attempt to control her in the future. She asks why he was so frivolous as to bamboozle her. Chad makes sense of she is the principal individual he's allowed himself to care deeply about since Abigail. He's frightened by everything disappearing once more. In Chicago, Sarah says she thought Rex moved past her. He answers that destroying their marriage is one of the greatest second thoughts of his life. Perhaps this child is an opportunity for him to fix something that never ought to have been broken. Furthermore, to show her that she has his heart and consistently will, he gets on one knee and formally proposes. A protective Chloe demands to Beauty that Xander's changed. Beauty is simply attempting to be an old buddy who tells the hard insights. Chloe counters that occasionally dearest companions stand by one another, as she did when Beauty was screwing EJ. They keep squabbling until Chloe reminds her she is a developed lady who can pursue her own choices. She would see the value in Beauty regarding her as a grown-up. Beauty yields, yet on the off chance that Xander misbehaves, even once, she'll be there to assist with beating him senseless from here to Scotland. The companions embrace and trade I love yous. At Little Bar, Justin contemplates whether there's important for Alex that needs one more opportunity with Stephanie. Alex concedes he's not totally over her, however he was genuinely attempting to continue on. The dating scene there is simply so ruthless. Of course, he can constantly bring in a tricky connection, yet when Justin asks what that is, Alex tells him not to stress over it. Justin expands, understanding he's been alright boomered. Alex didn't intend to do that, yet advises his dad to be content he's single. He realizes he really wants to continue to chip away at himself and ideally draw in the right sort of lady in his life. Brady calls Maggie to tell her he's not up for a family assembling this evening. He can't take Victor tossing Kristen in front of him or Xander boasting about proposing to Chloe. Maggie is amazed to hear that last piece as Xander walks in. Bonnie goes along with them and gets in a dig about destructive bozos. Past events, Bonnie. Past events, Xander deadpans. Bonnie's eyes swell when Maggie says she really wants to converse with Xander, yet Justin and Alex's appearance intrudes on her. Justin calls the landing strip about Victor's plane as Alex and Maggie consent to set to the side their disparities and embrace. At home, Stephanie says she could never underestimate how enormous of an arrangement this is for Chad and his children. She wouldn't be there on the off chance that she weren't in it for the long stretch. He is in no peril of losing her. Not to Alex or some other shirtless rondo. Chad is the main man she needs to be with. He kisses her, then, at that point, offers to put one of his on the map suppers. Perhaps later, she says, and leads him to the room. After Chloe returns home, a dismal Brady comes to the entryway. She lets him know how sorry she is about Rachel and inquires as to whether there's anything she can do. Definitely, he says, and kisses her. At the Kyriakis Chateau, Xander affirms to Maggie that he proposed to Chloe. He recognizes strain among her and Bonnie and asks what it is. Maggie again says there's something she wants to tell him. Be that as it may, a horrid Justin calls from him back. Victor's plane is absent. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.